are live. We are live. We're going to get this out on Twitter real fast. Cause I'm dreaming of a green Christmas. Let's see. Live. How is everyone doing today? So let's kind of look and see what we got here. That is just a glorious morning right there. That is what we like to see. I do know on the options side of the house, someone was speaking about the 27 calls for AMC that someone had purchased, and those are certainly printing almost up 2,000%. Hey, Wrestler, how's it going, man? Got it out on Twitter already. I'm not sure if anyone was actually tagged in it. Going over to the chart, though, you can see we actually came back through and are recapturing this upward channel I'd built in before. You know, we built this in around the 14th or 15th. And sure enough, here we see that we have indeed caught back up with that, jumped completely over the channel that was set up. So things are certainly looking up for us. I actually want to go through. We're going to push this out. Kind of want to see with it right there. I want to keep the same channel going, just kind of extend it out a bit. Is it even looking off the upper channel we had on those days? We're already moving above that, and we keep this kind of momentum up this next week, even with it being a short trading week because the stock market is closed on Friday. We still have a lot of potential to run up next week if buying pressure keeps stepping in as it is now. Now, during Claybrush time, I kind of wanted to look at the 1 minutes to see if we had, it's possible if you look at the minute-by-minute volume, if somebody got a huge fill in, it is possible you could see if some of the hedge funds were attempting to close their short positions, but not really looking. What do we got here on this? On this candle here, what do we got for volume? So that's a 1.4 million volume candle. Selling pressure on 1.5 mil. So we're not about the largest minutes we're seeing is about 1.5 million. We got looks like 3 of those candles stepped in. Since those larger candles earlier in the day, we haven't seen as many large minutes as it is. Yeah, 800,000 on these. So yeah, we're not ticking the million volume yet on any of those. But it'll be interesting to see next Tuesday or Wednesday when the Ortex numbers are updated, after the T2 settlement, seeing if any of these positions did close. I do not actually have the level 2 data. Level 2, you can look at individual orders and see if any fairly large positions ended up closing. But let me jump out here and get a couple tags out here to regular peeps. I built something. I had a clipboard set up to notify people, but I accidentally deleted all my clipboard information, so I had it, with everyone's tags already in there. So let me just kind of get in here. MC Trapper. Get Mr. Simon. Where's everyone at? Oh, there's. So how's your day going, wrestler? Have you been making any good trades? I know right now my two largest individual positions are AMC and Prog. That's kind of why I keep them at the top of the list right now. Yeah, let's kind of jump over on Prog. So Prog has broken through the upper channel. Where did I had another mark there that went away. Oh, are we that much higher than it that I can't see that anymore? Oh, there we go. There's that. So yeah, with Prog, I was kind of looking. I had two different channels built out in order to. I was looking to do some day and swing trading on it. So as you can see, we have pushed out of that lower channel. We've actually pushed above my average right now. But I want to see if it can actually get up and test the 290 mark, because that's the higher end of the upper channel. So, just with how, after everything got pushed down, you can see, Prog held this upper channel, got pushed into lower, back into upper channel, back into lower channel. So I'm waiting to see, if kind of a good waveform develops, kind of where you get into a rhythmic pattern where it runs up and you sell, runs back down, you buy, and you buy back in with your profit. So, in the long run, you're increasing your position, you're increasing your share count. And the main reason I want to do it like that is I was looking at the options for Prog as far as selling bull put spread, selling covered calls, and really there isn't that much to be made. I mean, it really is nickel and diming as far as $5 premium, $10 premiums. So I kind of wanted to look more towards where if you get if you have a movement of 50 cents, well, that's $50 as compared to selling covered calls or cash secured puts or bull puts and only making $5 to $10 a week. So. And if you get faster turnarounds, if it rises and falls like 1 or 2 times during the week, each time you do that, you're making that multiplier of profit on top of it. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump in on AMC. We want to look at the option chain. This week is going to be, today's the last day of the trading week. It's going to be really fluid. These numbers will be changing. People will be closing out their positions. People will be taking profits early. Not riding through until the end of the day, just because there's always the potential that towards the end of the day, end of the day, the prices start to come down, or share price starts to come down. We're knocking on the door 30 right now. I'd love it to stay where it's at. I'd love it to even more go higher and higher. But there is always a possibility towards the end of the day we see selling pressure step in just to get us out of the range of some of the contracts. I mean, you look at the $27 mark. For the strike price on calls for $27, you're looking at 11,000 contracts there. You've got another 11,000 at 25. Everything in here, end of the day, these are printing. So I would expect to see a little bit of selling pressure to step in just to see them try and get some of those contracts out of the money. 32 would be phenomenal. Everyone has been saying they want to get to 32. With almost 26,000 contracts that would be in the money just on the calls here, I don't see them letting it get that far. I think if they have any shares that they've borrowed to have on standby to short it, I think they would start shorting it hardcore before they allow it to get up to that price. Now, what we can look at Because on this chart, I was talking before I'd really started looking into opening up bull put spreads again. I wanted to see if we could hold this channel through the week. And as you can see today, we have just blown through that channel. So this being the Friday, this is when I would start looking towards the end of next week and start seeing how the options are starting to look. So of course on the call side of the house, oh, it's lagging behind. Let's let that data update. So if you're feeling daring and looking at the key psychological level of resistance being, at this point, I would not play anything around 30, especially for next week, because very little gains to cause it to go in the money, and it's not worth your shares, even though it is $318 right now at the mid price. As a little bit safer, give yourself that $5 window and move up to the $35 key level. And if you look, $150 a contract. Well, if you're putting in, 3, 4, 5 contracts, each contract getting you, $154. So I kind of would be interested to see how the share price goes and where we're looking closer to close, and see how this value holds up. And even if you want to be just a little bit safer than that, take $1 above it. If you know that 35 has potential to be a strong battleground, look at that $36 mark. $136 a contract is pretty good. Of course, know where your stop losses are. Know where you want to get out of. Definitely with the volatility we're seeing today, with the share price jumping, it is very important to know where your stop losses are. Know where you want to get out of it at. Hey, Frodo, how's it going, man? So if you know what your risk is, and honestly, just ballparking it, if I was going to enter into these and take the $138 premium for the 36 cover calls for next Friday, I would probably be looking at $150 to $160 being my stop loss. And you can set those up as long as you're within a certain range of the price. You can set those up at any time. I could go out and immediately buy these at $135, collect the premium, and immediately turn around and set it up to buy to close. Because remember, whenever you're doing covered calls, you are selling. You're selling the right to those. So you're selling to open, which means you will buy to close. So I would buy calls and end up buying those calls for set the price in at $160. So if it got the run up and it ran through and tagged 162 and kept running higher, it would automatically trigger the sale at 160. And these could easily run up and turn into $180, $200, $300. But if you build that stop loss in, you're protecting yourself against running and missing out on the MOAS. So anytime you're dealing with the selling of contracts, make sure you've got enough capital on standby to affect your stop loss. And also know that your stop losses can turn around and burn you. I have had that happen 1 or 2 times before. And just because, I knew where my risk was, it ran up, tagged my stop loss, and then the share price turned around. So yeah, I got burned on them. But more so than that, I have had stop losses save me from losing out on a lot of money. And on a stop loss, you are taking a loss, but there's risk and reward in every trade you make. And that's why before you get into options, having your trading plan in place, knowing what your goal is, even knowing how long you plan to hold these. I've talked in streams before that if I were to sell these, if I sold covered calls for next, I said Friday before, but it's actually next Thursday because we have a shortened trading week. If I sold my covered calls for the $36 strike price, see now we're down to $132 on the price of it. If I sold these covered calls and say Monday or Tuesday, it jumped down to where these dropped down to, $75 contracts. Oh, hey, Simon, thanks for popping in the chat, man. Thanks for hitting that like button. So if these drop down, if these shot down to, say, $165, well, now just change again. That's how fluid the market is. But If it hit the point where I could take 50% profits on Monday or Tuesday, I would totally close them out. I would take that profit, I would bank it, and I would look for the next position to move into. And of course, we're going to pop over, as much as I love covered calls, I also like bull put spreads. So we're going to jump on the put side of the house and kind of look, see what we're shaping up as for next week. So a number that I like to go for when I'm looking at premium to collect on bull put spreads, I kind of like I like pulling quarters. So the best one I've got right now would actually be the 25-26 bull put spread, and the current value of those is $27 a contract. By putting up $100 premium, say you had $400, you put up $400 and collect. Right now it's $27 premium, $26 premium. So pretty much you're turning 400 into 500. Now bull puts, I'll let these run a little bit longer and try and get them, if they can drive down, if I'm looking at Thursday and these are down to $5 a contract, I will let these roll to expiration, just because with bull puts, with any kind of spreads, your options value is calculated by the difference between the strike prices and what type of contracts there are. There are, if you ever heard people refer to the iron condor or the iron butterfly, especially with the iron condor, is where you are buying a call, selling a put, and buying a put. So you're actually doing one of each type of contract. And of course that'd be the same thing. Your collateral is determined by your difference in your largest strike prices apart multiplied by 100, and you'd collect a premium based on the differences between those strike prices and the value of those contracts. So Frodo, I'm not sure. Is this your first time catching the live stream? I don't remember if I've seen you in here before. I know I did get some notifications on YouTube. You kind of have a look here. And of course, this is open forum. If anyone at any point has questions they want to ask about options, or this is even. I have no problem with people who have never entered into options and are just looking to begin. I have no problem with answering the most basic of questions, or to the best of my ability, even some higher technical questions. Did not know I had a stream. Yeah, Frodo, this is actually the third week that the stream's been up only. I actually started the stream. Devil's Advocate, Sam, you may have seen the absolutely wonderful video that he put together for Claybro. He had messaged me on Twitter one day, and he had some questions about some prog calls that he had. Well, of course, I was at my 8 to 5, so I work with the Bluetooth in my ear all day. So I'm like, yeah, if you don't have a problem, give me a call, and I'll certainly try to answer the questions. Well, Devil's Advocate and I, we spent about an hour on the phone talking options, and I had already planned to set up like some beginner tutorials. I was thinking kicking around the idea of having a YouTube channel, but when I realized I've seen it pop up in chat before. Hey, I've got these. What do I do with them? It really drove it home that we got people that are options is a great way to make money, but if you not necessarily if you make mistakes, but if there are small things you don't know about, it's quite easy to lose a lot of money. So yeah, it was the following Monday I launched the channel just to try and help our community out. Yeah, that video they made was awesome. I'm usually at work when I listen to Claybro too. Yeah, I actually have a small little JBL Bluetooth speaker that I throw in the pocket of my work vest. So yeah, almost every day I'm listening, but I could be up a pole, I could be in my bucket working, a bucket vehicle. So a lot of times, I kind of am an audio listener, and if I have a question, I'll tap it, tap the send, And if I don't hear it come up, tap the send. Don't hear it, tap the send. So yeah, it's I love listening to it at work. It makes the day so wonderful just to go through listening to the stream. But yeah, looking at it for next Thursday, a little bit safer because we have had a lot of volatility, and we'll jump back over to the chart just for a minute. You can see this 2250 held up. The upper edge of this, just under $26. So that's why I think the 25s would be safe. The 26s. That's kind of why I was looking at at a collecting 26 premium per contract. The 25 26s. That's the upper edge of that channel. Those there's always an inherent risk. But I think with the upward momentum we have, especially if we carry that momentum into next week, I definitely think that's an acceptable premium to risk. Of course, it's all risk versus reward. Some people's tolerances, some people like a little bit more of a gamble. So I mean, even these 27 28s at $40 a contract, well, you're putting up $100 of collateral, but the potential, your collateral versus your premium, it's 40%. So yeah, those are that's a good pricing right there, but it is a little bit riskier than I like to play, and that's why I'll wait and see on Monday, see how we open, if we continue with an upward trend, or if we trade sideways throughout the rest of the day, if we continue an upward trend, and Monday if we get an upward trend, I'll look to start opening up the bull puts again. Bull put, if you're on Webull, it is on the drop down menu, and let me see if I can see that on it. Yeah, on the drop down menu, it is listed as the vertical. And all you do is you go to the vertical, you go to the put side of the house. Hey! Oh, Simon was already in here. Yeah, AMC to the moon, definitely. Man, if we keep this momentum going throughout the day, I looked in and saw how much I was up, and I had a smile from ear to ear going on. It was great. I love seeing the price run up like that. I love seeing it run up as... I don't dabble with options too much, but looking to learn more. Glad to have found your show. Yeah, I've been certainly kudos and a shout out to Clay. He does not have a problem with me dropping the link to my channel on his live streams, because everyone knows I love Clay Bro Stream. I love being a part of the community, and I'm glad that I went over on TMI's channel, and he let me during one of his streams he let me put up the information, and even on Matt Kors gave my channel a shout out just briefly in one of his streams, just trying to get the word out and grow the channel, and if people can like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and and perhaps one of the easiest ways to help grow the channel, is word of mouth of people who pop in here. So if anyone knows someone who's interested in not just options but just the market in general, and just be like, hey, even if it's not your cup of tea, if you pop in and hit subscribe, and that alone would just help grow the community. It helps with the YouTube algorithms, and gets word of mouth out, and somebody, you may know someone who isn't interested in the channel, but they might know someone who would be interested. So that's word of mouth, and putting out content. That is the easiest way to get a channel to grow. And unfortunately, yesterday I did not get a chance to put together. I did not do a midday or an aftermarket stream. I am looking, depending upon what everyone says in Claybro's afternoon stream, I may end up doing an evening stream tonight also, just to go over what happened with the market, things to look towards next week, potential option plays for next week. Certainly any other stocks or cryptos that people want to look into. I have no problem pulling up other positions. This is not an AMC Prog channel. This is a full market options channel. And I'm thinking in the near future we might also do some portfolio building, including setting up kind of a low value interactive portfolio where us as a community, we go through and kind of using using a template or a blueprint, build our own portfolio, and just kind of track it and see how it grows slowly over time. Not anything like a $50,000 portfolio, but something that your average person who's working 8 to 5 can afford. So yeah, let's. What is going on? Oh no, we don't want that. We want the chart. What is going on with the S&P 500? S&P got shook. They were holding this nice channel here for a while. Got knocked down. Cup and handled. Ran up. Huge run up. The 15th going in 16th. It got pushed back down, and now it looks like it really doesn't know what it wants to do. I mean, it is catching a little bit of upward pressure. Let's so. Oh no, I'm not asking for donations or anything. This will just be it'll just be this is a non-monetized channel at this time. Channel's not large enough to be monetized, but this would be one that I just kind of that I throw together, throw a bit of money in, and just one that we can play around with. Most of the play around time would be either if I'm on vacation or during lunchtime in between Claybro streams because I don't want to throw streams that overlap with Claybro's. That way we can kind of when he wraps up and goes to lunch, I go on lunch at work or somewhere around that time period, to where I can come in, do a little bit during the midday, and then I go back to my regular job. And he handles power hour. He's there for power hour and an hour after close. Well, when he wraps up his stream, I've still got an hour left in my regular 8 to 5 job. And then when I get home, depending on how the market is, I look to do an evening stream. But yeah, just something we can play around with. Yeah, fill the gap between the shows, and depending upon how my schedule looks and everything. Like if I've got vacations or time off during the week, I may do some morning streams. Right now, I haven't done any of those yet, but do kind of a pre-market into open type stream just to try that out. But it really does. I gotta be careful with the timing on that because. I work 8 to 5. Well, the market opens at 8:30 my time, so I could only actually be on open when I'm on vacation. Otherwise, it'd be like a pre-market show. But still, pre-market give people, because there's already price movement, before I go to work. So giving people kind of an idea what to expect further, as the day progresses and as the market opens. So there's our SPY. Let's check the Qs. Qs looking like they've got actually a little bit more support. Hang on, let's Q SPY. Yeah, it looks like the Qs are actually doing just a little bit better than the SPY right now. Let's check the Russell 2000. Russell 2000. Yeah, for some reason the SPY looks like it's having a little bit more downward pressure than the SPYs in the Q. SPYs in the Q, so or the Russell here. Granted, the Russell does not have the upward run. SPY's a little bit higher right now on this short run. Qs are definitely, tech sector is definitely doing a lot better than the Russell and the SPY. And just for giggles, we're on the SPY. I kind of want to have a look here. So looking, nice dollar increments, nice dollar increments. And these are 6 days out. things that I like, the SPY, the Q, and the IWM, because those are indices, they actually have 3 expirations per week rather than just like AMC and GME having weekly options. So it's actually got, these, that is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So if you're playing like the SPY or the Qs, you can actually play options 3 times a week as far as expiration dates, which means like if you open a position on Friday, you can actually have it set to close the following Monday. So it's like today we've got the SPY options closing today and the SPY options closing on Monday. So if you thought that this upward pressure is going to stay, and of course looking, if you're doing bull puts, it is the difference between the 2 strike prices multiplied by 100. So these would all be $100 contracts. Until you get further down, you can see at 44 to 42. So from here down would be $200 contracts until you get to an area where you start seeing a $5 increment, which would be a $500 contract. So looking, going off how I like quarters, at 26, you would have a nice little zone in between the 458 to 459 strike prices. And the good news is that's a quarter you're collecting, still a little bit away from the current strike prices. We've got like a $4 or $5 window, and collecting a little bit over 25% on each contract. So, and for some reason, oh no, okay, the $2 increment hit right there. Yeah, whenever you're doing bull puts, definitely pay attention, because whenever you're selling a position or selling options contracts, you have to put up some form of collateral. If you're doing cash secured puts, it is the price, the strike price of the shares multiplied by 100. So if, say on AMC, we'll jump over there because that is the main thing everyone is here for. So if you were going to be doing cash secured puts, it is a single option. And say you wanted to enter in at the $25 puts, which, those are today. We're gonna go with next week. So cash secured puts, and you were interested in the $25. Oh, keep bouncing back and forth because we're right at that 30 mark. So if you were interested in selling cash secured puts for the $25 strike price, meaning that if it ran down $25, those shares would be put to you, meaning you would have to buy those shares at $25. Regardless, if it ran down to $20 a share, you would still have to buy those at $25. So in order to enter into this contract, you would have to put up $2,500 of collateral, $25 times 100 shares, because every options contract deals with a 100 share block. But you'd be collecting $78 premium. Now, if AMC all throughout the week stayed above this, stayed at the 30 range, ran up to 35, no matter what, this $78, you keep this. You don't have to worry about the collateral. It's yours to keep. As soon as you enter the contract and open this up, you collect that premium. Your collateral is secured, so these end next Thursday. So Thursday comes, they expire worthless. You have your $78 premium. Your $2,500 collateral would be released back to you the following trading day. So you would have your $2,500 would be released back to you on the following Monday. That's if you ride them to expiration. If you close them out early, say this got down to $5 and you wanted to go ahead and buy to close, and you paid the $5 on Thursday, Thursday midday, your $2,500 is released back to you that day. You don't have to wait till Monday to receive your collateral back. And that's the same thing on the other side of the house if you're selling covered calls, which is something that I like to do quite often. So same thing, I look at next Friday, and I think that it's not going to get up. I think we're gonna run up and test, but I don't think we're going to quite make it to 40. But just to be safe, I'm going to say 41. So because I'm selling covered calls, I collect the premium. There's a buyer who wants to buy calls at the $41 price. So he's going to pay me 66, or that person will pay me $66, and my 100 shares are put up as collateral, which means those 100 shares are locked away, and until they're released, either through expiration or through buying to close, I can't touch those 100 shares. And the other side of the house, the third side of the house, this house has a lot of sides to it. If you're doing bull put spreads that I like to do, you're receiving collateral. You receive $28, or you receive premium. You receive $28 premium, but you have to put up collateral. And on a spread, your collateral is the difference in the strike prices multiplied by 100. Difference in the strike prices, $1 multiplied by 100 would be $100 of collateral you have to put aside. Now some smaller stocks will jump into Prog here. If you notice on their spreads, there are only 50-cent differences in the strike prices. So if you were entering into bull put spreads on Prog, these would only be $50 of collateral as opposed to AMC with $100. And you'll even see some larger stocks, they will have the difference in their strike prices on their contracts on spreads will be $10, which means you have to put $1,000 collateral per contract. So it's kind of options is a way for you to play with big money stocks without having to throw big money in there. And your spreads, spreads that take $50 collateral and $100 collateral, those are a lot easier than having, when AMC was up in the $4,000 or $40 range. It was $4,000 to deal in 100 shares. So being able to come over and play with smaller dollar amounts, but still have that effect and the potential to make money, that's one of the strengths behind options. You don't have to have huge amounts of money to play them. You just have to be able to identify your risk. So, do we have any questions in the chat? Certainly awesome having Frodo pop in for the first time. I always like it when we get new people on the stream. Go out on the 5-minute. Yeah, it looks like we almost tapped 31 there. Just a little bit short of it. That zone right there. Looks like just you and I. Well, I have no problem with one-on-one in the chat. Yeah, that was a huge overbought period on the RSI. Drop back down to the 1 minute. Just kind of... I don't know what it is. When I go to the 1 minute, my... because this upward channel is actually below here. But I don't know what it is. It just it has trouble with the overlay sometimes. But certainly for charting, I like using Webull is my favorite. Just for all the tools it has. Yeah, beautiful price. I mean, look at that, just crushing it the whole way up. We need a lot more of this. This is a day that the community has really needed. When we go back and look at looking at the past 3 weeks, just how far out are we? Yeah, it's only back into November. Especially, this run right in here. This was brutal. That was, that shook a lot of paper hands out. And then people saw it dip down, bought back in, and shake out more paper hands. Yeah. So yeah, we might see a little bit of a pullback going into the end of the day. After a huge run up like this, I'm not worried. If it runs back down. If we run back down to 28, if we hold above this 27.10 line, then I think going into next week we'll definitely see more upward price action. If we hold this upward trend all the way to close, that would be absolutely phenomenal. That'd be that'd be perhaps short of the MOAS. That'd be the best we could expect out of the week, is if we continue following this trend line that we recaptured, because we were running underneath, or running above it, and then we ducked underneath. It looked like it almost wanted to hold an upward channel. In fact, let me go in here. I want to. Going off this guy right here. If you're wondering why I didn't go all the way on the full bottom. Yeah, it wasn't too long ago that I found that I started playing with the lines on here. I wasn't real big on dropping lines all over, but I'm kind of liking them now. What do we got? Well, it was a few days ago that we hit just over 20. Now we're near 30. Yeah, that's And if you notice, Frodo, on here, we did have the punch through right there, but if you look, tested. I was viewing that this here. That's why I've got that 2250 on there. 2250 to me looked like a better support than saying, oh, we ran through and dropped below 21. Okay, well, we only did that once. They did manage to drive us down. And this is on the 5 minutes. So this was at the beginning of the day, and I remember seeing TMI had posted the Ortex numbers on that day. That was an 5 million share short that they did. They ended up shorting it down 5 million apparently, which is where this huge downward spike came, and people saw that and they immediately bought it back up. And that's why I'm not using that as a support line, because it was a deliberate downward drive, and as soon as people saw it, they're like, oh, that's a great dip, I'm going to buy it right now. So there's no way they could have sustained the price that low. So yeah, the 2250 is looking to hold up a lot better as support, and now we're running away from it. So do a reevaluation next week and see, and maybe we can get rid of this 2250, or just maybe leave it up there as a reminder. A reminder of how far down they can potentially push, and where we as apes pretty much told them no, we're not accepting that. Is it still just the two of us in chat, or just you and I here? Yeah, I know. It was guest name. He also subscribed to the channel today, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, and it looked like you subscribed right towards the end of Claybro's chat, like really close to it. So I got a notification on Prague. Yep, Prague's right back at my average right now. So yeah, before I do anything with Prague, I want to see if I can get back up to that get back to the upper edge of this top channel. Let's see. So, are there any direct option questions you had at this time, or because you said that you haven't really gotten in? Let me see. You don't dabble much, but looking to learn more. Yeah, and the whole reason I set these channels up on Prog was just to I I had option positions. In fact, I've got options that are expiring today, but they dropped down and became worthless. Like long. I mean, they dropped down and went worthless. Halfway through the day, I never even had time to set up a stop loss on them. So they just been sitting there waiting to see if Prog ran to the moon. Yeah, they'd be worth something, but they've been worth nothing for so long. They're just sitting there waiting to expire. Yeah, I'll see you later on Claybro Stream, and I'm gonna go ahead and since it was just the two of us in here and pretty much got all the information out, I'm gonna wrap this up, and I'll see you on Clay's afternoon stream, man. And thanks for stopping by, and hope to see you here again in the future. And I want to thank everyone who came by. Wrestler Frodo, 1111 Mr. Simon. Smaller stream today, not too much to go over, and hopefully we have something exciting to talk about in an evening stream, and hopefully I see everyone there. So from northern Minnesota, I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful day.